What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And in today's video guys, first of all I will show you an upcoming update from Richard Hoffman in regards to his arbitration. Then I will continue with the major news for today's video. I will show you the potential involvement of Donald Trump in the case of fighting against naked shorting, and I will show you how we can help ourselves to push this case forward, because in my opinion it is another potential path of solution, and this path has one of the highest chances to be resolved. Then I will show you some news in regards to the transferring shares to AST, and we have an evidence that different QSIP numbers is not related to the different types of shares, OG TRCH shares or the shares that were bought right after the MMAT and TRCH merger. And at the end of this video I will share my personal story, and guys, I highly encourage you to watch this video till the very end, because it is very important for me personally. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and hit the like button for me. It takes you a split of a second of your time, but it takes me more than 4 hours on a daily basis to make these videos. That is why I think it is quite fair deal to exchange a split of a second of your time for 4 hours of my hard work. That is why, guys, just hit the like button. So, let's start with the news itself. Richard Hoffman just several hours ago wrote this tweet. He said, MMTLP update regarding arbitration and arbiter coming this weekend. And if you don't know, Richard Hoffman is our headliner who is in the process of arbitration against Fidelity, and for now all of the decisions that were made by arbiters panel was just denials of all of the inquiries from Richard Hoffman. And the arbiters panel didn't explain its decisions, and that is why Richard Hoffman challenged the main arbiter's mental capabilities in regards to his case. And on top of that, we are approaching to the deadline, a preliminary deadline that should happen within, I guess, several days. And definitely Richard Hoffman will explain all the major dates in regards to his arbitration, and he will explain the current status of his arbitration. That is why, guys, I highly encourage you to follow his Twitter account and to subscribe to his YouTube channel, Not Legal Advice, KNOT. So, and let's continue with other news. Meta guy Murdoch wrote the set of tweets, and he tagged all the representatives who signed the letter from Ralph Norman's office. You can find it on his Twitter account. As you can see, it was published on December 22nd, 2023. And Meta guy Murdoch tagged all of them. He made a set of tweets, as you can see, and let me quote you them in details. Dear John Rutherford, Monday marks 500 days since the halt and 78 days since Gensler's worthless 6-day late reply to your call for transparency. It's apparent that regulators willfully disrespect you and your inquiries while thousands suffer. Please set the date for MMTLP hearing. And I have to say that all of these tweets, let me like all of them. All of these tweets definitely should be reposted by MMTLP community and should be liked, because the more people see these tweets in their Twitter feeds, the more chances we have to see this MMTLP hearing date. And guys, I have to say that it is not the only way how we can solve this problem right now. You know that just recently, a couple of days ago, Trump Media alerts Nasdaq to potential market manipulation from naked short selling of DJT stock. And Trump Media is the company that belongs to Donald Trump. And as you can see, here is the tweet that was published on Don Fee's Twitter account. Basically, Don Fee's posted this screenshot. And he also thinks that it might be quite interesting. He just posted this And guys, on one of my previous video, I told you that it is another potential path how we can try to solve our problem. And Donald Trump might step in because it might be extremely favorable for him to attract more attention to his election campaign and to attract more votes in his favor. Let me show you some details. First of all, Peter Han wrote this tweet just yesterday, and this tweet shows that we can see an increase in interest to this matter from Donald Trump's office. And let me quote this. Just gave an off-record chat to an MCM reporter regarding Donald Trump and DJT and how it related to threshold list, SEC, FINRA, MMTLP, Gary Gensler, SBF, Caroline Ellison, Political Donations Never Return, FTX, Binance, Brett Harrison, Dawkins, MC, GME, Adam Aaron, cohorts, and other hedge funds and family offices attacks on me. Makes you realize just how utterly corrupt and insane this world has become. I literally said rabbit hole 5 or 6 times in a 30-minute chat. I really have to make time and write a book. At this rate, it will be longer than Game of Thrones. And guys, definitely, this case is ramping up, and we know when MSM is trying to find out all the details in regards to this matter, definitely it will attract even more attention to our case. And on top of that, let me show you the Rare DD's tweet that he published just a couple of hours ago. He said, the worst thing the POTUS and his administration can do is to allow the MMTLP situation to go unresolved going into the election season. If Donald Trump uses what's happening to DJT to make naked short selling counterfeiting a key campaign issue, good luck. In my opinion, social media will literally hand Trump the presidency. Maybe that's the plan. And let me quote you that Clark too responded to his tweet 4 hours ago. Personally, I'd prefer that we continue to treat it as a bipartisan issue as much as possible. It is much more unifying. And Rare DD answered, bipartisan as in both sides working together on a solution. The opinion shared is based on one side seemingly not addressing a problem and the potential for another side to actually address it on the presidential level. If anything, it should be seen as a call to work together now, in my opinion. And guys, let me explain you what benefits might acquire Donald Trump using this case. Let me show you this number. It is a number of registered voters in the United States from 1996 to 2022 in millions. And here you can see the two latest numbers. It is 168.31 million voters and 161.42 million voters. Let's assume that we have an average about 150 million registered voters. Next, and by the way, it is official Statista data of 2024. Let me show you next update. Here's the voter turnaround from 2018 through 2022. And let me quote you just one sentence. About 2/3, 66% of voting eligible population turned out for the 2020 presidential election, the highest rate for any national election since the beginning of 20th century. And guys, 36% out of 150 million voters is about 100 million voters. And this 100 million people who actually voted on the last presidential elections. And please remember this figure. Next very important number. About 158 million adults in the United States invest in stocks according to a recent Gallup survey. So 158 million adults. Let me show you that about 90% of them, 90% of investors lose money while trading. This means out of 158 million adults, about 140 million people are losing money while investing. And guys, definitely some of them, and I have to admit that the majority of these 140 million people lose their money because of their bad due diligence. But let's assume that only 10% of this number is the people who are the victims of naked shorting activity. And it leads us to the number of roughly 14 million people. And guys, 14 million people is the number of voters who potentially might give their votes for Donald Trump. And guys, if you take a look right here, if you remember that the total number of voters is about 100 million people, 14 million out of 100 is about 14%. And definitely, not all of these people are the people who vote against Trump. But let's assume that we have almost equal split, about 50-50% in between voters and non-voters for Trump. And this leads us to 7% of potential votes that might be acquired by Donald Trump in the upcoming election. And this number is huge, extremely huge, because Donald Trump can use this case and he can use it easily. He doesn't need any type of connections with the legislative branch or judicial branch or executive branch. He just needs to speak loud. And guys, Donald Trump is one of the best persons that I've ever known who can speak loud. And definitely, he can use this case in order to push our case, our general case forward. And definitely, he can solve this within next several months. And if he does it, definitely it will be a major win for all of the retail investors who will eventually have this fair market. And definitely, because of this fact alone, Donald Trump can attract even more voters on his side. And that is how he can win the elections of 2024. And guys, definitely not all of us like Donald Trump, and it is 100% expectable. But if we have some paths that might lead us to the resolution of MMTLP case, just think of it as another tool that can help us to achieve our goals. Nothing more, nothing less. And definitely, in my opinion, this might be a major breakthrough in our case, and this will lead us to the resolution within next several months. So, and let me show you another several opinions of MMTLP community members. Glass Guy reposted this tweet that was written by Rob just 8 hours ago, and Rob wrote, Donald Trump, you have an opportunity to expose the crooks and make America great again. Tell the world what's happening in our financial markets. Become the saint retail investors need right now. The MMTLP community stands with you for answers and transparency. And he also, Glass Guy also made this tweet. As you can see, it is quite funny picture when Donald Trump is standing on the top of the hill, on the top of the mountain, and the name of the mountain is MMTLP. This is a quite symbolic picture that potentially he can solve this problem. And Glass Guy wrote this: let's see them ignore us now. And definitely when Donald Trump, and if Donald Trump will push this case forward as hard as he can, definitely no one can ignore it anymore. On top of that, let me show you this tweet that was reposted by Mark Basile, and that was written by Stonk-Tart1. And it says, if you are not tweeting, liking or sharing the fact that Donald Trump just called out Ken Griffin lied under oath and Doug Sifu and both their firms for illicit naked shorts, then have you really been in this fight for over 3 years? And definitely, we can see that a lot of people from MMTLP community are trying to attract Donald Trump's attention. And guys, for now, we have another potential call to action. Go into your local Donald Trump's offices and ask them and give them all the information in regards to MMTLP community. Probably show them this video and tell them that it is the easiest way how they can acquire up to 8% of votes within a blink of an eye. Definitely, it is the easiest way, in my opinion, how they can attract this attention. And this is extremely beneficial for Donald Trump. So, and let me show you this tweet. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I showed you that we have an issue, potential issue with the QSIP numbers of MMTLP shares that were transferred to AST books. We have two QSIP numbers, and one of the assumptions was that potentially the difference in between these two numbers was in the field of the origination of these shares. Potentially some of shares might be original TRCH shares that became MMTLP and then that were transferred to AST. And the second QSIP number is the number for other shares that were issued by MMTLP and Next Bridge Hydrocarbons. But this tweet proves that it is not the case. Let me show you that Martin Moore wrote this 13 hours ago. I have my OG shares and my bought shares at AST. They are all in the same account and same QSIP. And guys, this means that potentially we have another confirmation that the second QSIP number was added in order to hide the information that the first QSIP number is full of shares. And potentially they might hide the fact that AST is full of shares. And definitely we have to dig deeper inside this fact, but in my opinion, it is another potential evidence of this imbalance. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and two children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.